I am here with Neil Barnes. Hello, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Really, really good. We're so excited to have Leftfield here today, Neil. Thank you so much for coming to do the session.
Yeah, you got us out of bed very early for us to be doing a live show.
I know.
We'll do our best.
I can only apologise. And not just a live show, but your first ever radio session.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, well, playing live, yeah.
That's
yeah,
incredible.
definitely.
I don't know how that could be right. It's
always ducked out of them in the past, really.
Really? Well, thank you very much for making the exception for us.
No.
So we've caught up a few times over the summer, and it's been, quite a significant one for you, obviously, with Alternative Light Source being released and having done so well. Obviously, there was 18 years between records or thereabouts.
Can't remember.
It was 18 years, I think, as far as I know anyway. My maths isn't great.
18?
But a good long while. I mean, did it feel that long for you? And what was that interim period like? Did you think that you'd left Leftfield behind for good?
Yeah, most probably, yeah. I think at one stage I did. It was only about 2010 that I realised, when we came back and started to do stuff in 2010, that I thought, oh, hang on. Maybe there's legs in the old Sea Dog left. So I thought I'd bring them back and start again this year,
And it was playing live then? That
was a whole live tour, yeah. Mainly playing stuff off the leftism and stuff like that. And that sort of made me think about, well, yeah, maybe we can do another record.
Okay. So tell me, and here it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about the new album. The title has got a little bit of physics about it. Now, can you explain that for me?
Well, it's sort of... You can interpret it like that. I mean, it's basically just something out of nothing. It's just sort of, something emerging out of 18 years, maybe. You can look at it like that. I mean, yeah, there's physics in there. There's a fascination with light and source of light and an alternative power, really, I was talking about, in a very pretentious way.
No,
trying to think of a title, you just sit around for ages thinking, okay.
It's funny, isn't it? And it's such a strong link with music as well. I mean, light and music, very similar in that kind of way.
Yeah, I suppose that was one of the things I was thinking of. Yeah, it's just the power of it that I was fascinated with, and the minimalism of that type of idea. So it's a single point. There's nothing there apart from something emerging out of the darkness, which is what Leftfield's always been about for me, really.
So tell me about the collaborators that you've got with you on the album, and perhaps in session today. Some really brilliant artists in the mix.
Yeah, we've got Jason's here from the Sleafords, which is brilliant. I'm so pleased about doing that track. Got Ofe here as well, who did a track on the records.
Yeah.
Cheshire Cat's with us, but isn't on the new record, but was on the last two albums. So
Channy as well, Channy Lenars on the records.
Yeah, Channy's not here, but she's, it was fantastic working with her. Police are a fantastic band, really interesting experimental stuff. And then obviously we've got Tunde from
TV on the radio
as well. So it's really exciting collaborations.
Is it right that Offe's track, you'd originally, when you started working on that, you were thinking maybe you were thinking of George Michael for that? Is that right?
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about George Michael anyway, because I think he's just got an amazing voice, and I'm not frightened by what people say. I think for me, he's just got an amazing voice. So, initially that was one of the ideas I had for the record. Yeah, George. Yeah.
So, do you think that collaboration might happen at some
point? I'd love
it
to happen. Yeah, I'd love it. I really would, because I just think he's just got a stunning voice.
Yeah, amazing. Well, listen, I've got a little bit of live footage that I thought you might like to hear. Dear. Yeah. No, check this out. Right, this is amateur footage of Leftfield playing Brixton Academy in 1996. Now, I've mentioned this to you, Neil, and you said you can't remember, but apparently people who were there, say that this gig was so loud that plaster fell off the walls.
Yes, it did, yeah. Yeah, it did. A lot of plaster fell off the walls, yeah. It did in 2010 as well, actually. It's only because I was up there banging it, getting it to come down.
Looking at our ceiling, how do you think this is going to hold up, this business? It's been there a while.
Yeah, because some of those bits could come down later.
All right, let's have a look at this. Is Leftfield playing live at Brixton. Do you?
I remember this bit, yeah.
You remember this bit?
I remember that section of the live show. That was a real sort of completely us jamming, like congas and drums, really.
Is that where it started for you, like the music thing? Because you studied samba, right?
Well, I was in the London School of Samba. I did do a little bit of tour, stuff with them. One very, very wet carnival, in which we were all dressed as House of Cards, and it all ran on us. So by the end of it, we were just like this miserable bunch of sort of wafers.
Slightly soggy.
Yeah. So me and Paul met playing congas in clubs, making a racket over other DJs. You know, we used to play louder than them, really. That's where we actually started off, yeah.
Okay, so the beats came first.
Yeah, I mean, the beats came first, and the beats are always important. You know, they're still the main part of what I do, I think.
Because I heard that Gary Kemp from Spandau Ballet was saying that you went to the same school as all of those guys.
I was in Gary's class.
In Gary's class,
Yeah,
and he said you were the only kid hard enough to take recorder lessons. Everybody else was too scared.
I don't remember that.
Do you not remember it?
I've got some stories about him as well, actually.
Yeah.
With the early days of Spandau Ballet, yeah. But they were the school band.
So they were, because they formed at school, didn't they? So I'm just interested in this idea of, like, you know, what that school was like. Did it have, like, just a particularly good music program, or was everybody just on a, you know,
everyone was
on a wavelength?
Yeah, it did have that type of atmosphere. Even though it was a sort of Islington grammar school, but it was always a bit twisted. So most people there were either into music or art. People went off into lots of different areas.
Right.
And obviously, Spans were the first. You know, they were the school band. They were called the Roots first, by the way, until they realised it meant something to do with reggae.
And then changed it. So you went in the other direction.
Oh, there's some other good names as well. The Gentry, that's another one. The name, I thought.
So you went off after that point to the WAG Club and then started
DJing
there, is that right?
Yeah, I did a little bit. Yeah, I was really got obsessed with the American electronic music. I mean, that's really where my heart was. And so we were in a little DJ crew, and, you know, I spent a lot of time going to see really exciting bands, really. That's how I spent my youth. That was my education, was listening to music. That's how, you know, I got my ideas, was from studying really other people, really, like, you know, Joy Division and African Bambaataa, people like that, who I was lucky enough to see play live, and had a big effect on me. And sort of, I think it focused the work that we did, especially with the early Leftfield. And then I realised that you could actually make the record music. And that's where, you know, having, you know, sort of just very simple reggae-based bass lines and stuff like that.
Okay.
Repetition was the idea, really.
And what about the live shows that you've been doing most recently? You know, you've just played Dismaland a couple of weeks back. Well, tell me about that.
That was wonderful. That was just a really exceptional day out by the seaside. I mean, it was just great fun. Reminded me of, you know, sort of days as a child. So, you know, really sort of mad places where, you know, nothing worked. It was wonderful, and, you know, but I mean, the art was fantastic, and it was a low price. It was almost like a fantastic day out, a family day out. Sort of you know, a bit of art and education and music, which is what we supplied at the end of the night. And
where's the tour taking you next? It's Birmingham, I think.
We're going. No, we're not doing anything till next. We're off to Norwich and places like that. Birmingham. He says, not knowing where he's touring. Edinburgh. We're playing.
I think right the way through to Warehouse Project in Manchester. It's the last one I know about. That's going to be a biggie.
In December, yeah. We're playing that. Really looking forward to that, yeah.
Well, we're so pleased to have you here today, Neil.
Thank you
so much for being with us. And I think the live set is going to run through the whole final hour of the show, right?
Right, yeah. We're not stopping.
Brilliant.
We're not stopping.
They're not going to stop for anyone. Fantastic, Neil Barnes. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Brilliant to have Leftfield here today.